So NBC broke the news that Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, had his paternal and maternal great grandparents were slave owners. I believe they reported that they owned 14 slaves. That's not particularly unusual in America, where older white people find out that they are descendants of slave owners. But what is different about Mitch McConnell is that he is now the Senate Majority Leader. Mitch McConnell, when asked about reparations, said, "I don't think reparations for something that happened 150 years ago, when none of us currently living are responsible, is a good idea." He said that June 18th, a day before the House reparations hearing. He said, "We've tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, by passing a landmark civil rights legislation. We've even elected a black president." In 1850, his great-grandfather, Richard Daley, he owned 5 female slaves. They were ranged in age from 2 to 22. 4 are classified as mulatto. Mulatto means that somebody white had sex with somebody black and bore children, most likely the owner of that person. So he says he had 4. They ranged in age from 2 to 4 to 18 and 20. One 22-year-old slave was identified as black, which I'm going to assume is the mother. So not only was Mitch McConnell's maternal great-grandfather a slave owner, he was a rapist. In the 1860 census, his father, his great-great-grandfather, Richard Daley, in that same census, owned 5 slaves, 3 females, 2 males. 2 of those females, they were ages 30 and 11, were classified also as mulatto. According to the records, the other woman, who was 39 and listed as black, both males, one was either 10 or 12 years old, and one was 7. They, too, were listed as mulattoes. None were identified by name. So not only did they own people, but they raped them. So if you shook Mitch McConnell's family tree, rape victims will fall out. Now, there were articles published where Mitch McConnell extolled the virtues of his hardworking family, where we know from history that when you own black people, they took on your name. So they were, in fact, very hardworking people, only that they were people of color. He actually made the statement that he was descended from a long line of hardworking and often colorful McConnells. You got that right. They were. So here's the thing. He said that his granddad was a circuit-riding Calvinist preacher who sermonized in a different church every Sunday, carrying his Bible in his saddleback. He still had it. Mitch McConnell is one man who now can decide whether America starts dealing with reparations. He can decide it almost single-handedly. He can bring it to the floor. Now, there are a lot of people who find these kinds of situations in their families. And a lot of people lament that there's nothing they can do. There's a sense of frustration in America with a lot of people who go, wow, there's nothing I can do about this. Not Mitch McConnell. Now, it is foolhardy for me to indict a man who was born well after the crime was committed. He wasn't there when his great-grandfathers did what they did. He wasn't there and a participant in it, but he was a beneficiary. He directly benefited from it. He understands more than anybody else what the slavery did to people. And he's in a position that is rare amongst most people. He can do something about it. He said, I don't think we should spend time trying to figure out how to compensate it. First off, it would be hard to figure out whom to compensate. I tell you what, Mr. McConnell, the next time you go to your family reunion and you see a light-skinned McConnell, pay them. It ain't that hard. Anybody who comes from an inner city, who is light-skinned and black, that comes to your family reunion, was raped by your great-great-grandfather. Now, you can't fix everything, but you can fix that. And absent that, you should recuse yourself because you have a direct stake in this. You take pride in the fact that your father was a preacher. You shout the Bible out all the time. In that Bible you love so much, it said that the sins of the father shall be visited on the son. Now, either you will help or you're an accomplice.